Welcome everyone to the second part of the subset series problems, like the subset pattern that we were doing. So in this one, we're going to look at questions related to permutations. What is permutation? Permutation means you're given a string or whatever and you rearrange it. So for example, if you're given something like, let's say a string is given to you like ABC. Okay, what are the permutations of this going to be? Permutations. Just rearrange it. ABC itself, let's say BAC, CAB, BCA, ACB, so on and so forth. Okay, so many. So this is what we want to find out. We're trying to find out all the possible permutations of a particular number. Okay, so that is what we want to do. Now, how does it relate with? So, for example, I already taught you when to use the subset method in permutations and combinations. So, like in permutations, when you're dealing with like rearrangement and stuff, and we're taking like subsets and stuff like that. Okay, so that is where we use subset method. Okay, that's fine. We are using the subset method. What is the subset method? Taking one, ignoring one, that particular case. In this case, what is the common sense telling us? What is the common sense telling us? Pause this video, think about it yourself. For all the questions we have done right now, I'm teaching you the thinking process, how to think. So what is the common sense telling us? Common sense is telling us that I'm not ignoring any element, any character I'm not ignoring. Okay, CA is not a permutation. Okay, every character should be present. That is the common sense. So, and I also know it's in permutation. So I know subset method will be applied. Let's see how we can apply that. You all know how we apply subset method. What is like the first step to apply subset method? Processed and unprocessed, we take that. So initially processed is empty and unprocessed is ABC. Okay, talking about the first character we are at, this is like the pattern we are following, right? Processed, unprocessed, at every recursion step, take the first character. Now, what do we need to do with this first character is the main problem. This is what you need to think about. What do we do with the first character? So you can see my answer is obviously going to lie in processed. Okay, the process is the answer. So A is actually currently this is empty. So in how many places can we add A? If this is an empty string, in how many places can I add A? Just one place. This is all I can do. Can you do anything else? Can you do anything else? No. Now in this recursion call I'm talking about, let's say B. B can be added over where? What is permutation? Permutation means the element's position can be at multiple places. So if I'm talking about, see, think about it. What is recursion actually? Never forget the basics. Recursion is actually breaking down problems into smaller problems. So now this problem is broken down into smaller problem. This B is actually broken down that if you had two characters A and B, what all answers can you get? I can get A and B and B and A. Those are the two permutations I can get. So you can get either put it over here or here. So this will become BA or AB. Remaining will be C. Now the problem is reduced to what? Recursion is going to be like, hey, I have BA with me. Can you please see where can I add C? Like what are all the possible combinations and permutations I can make when I already have BA with me? It's going to be like, okay, you can add one over here, or over here. So this itself will have three answers. CBA, BCA, BAC. Empty, empty, empty. Like unprocessed is empty now. Similarly, this will be CAB, ACB and ABC. Unprocessed is empty. So whenever unprocessed is empty, I have found my answer. So what are all my answers? This, 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 this and this. That is true. What is the total number of permutations you can have of size if the size of the array is 3 or list or string is 3? You tell me. 3 factorial, right? So what is 3 factorial? 6. That is my answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is it. This is my recursion call. Similarly, here also, obviously, we will be doing multiple ways to solve this. We'll be first just displaying this. We will also be returning it in the list. And we'll also be taking, let's say, the count of it. And that's it. Yeah. We'll be doing so many things. So obviously for this, what is important? The previous video is important because in that I have explained how do you count this and how do you take all the, how this thing works internally and everything has been explained. But there's something different over here. Can anyone tell me what it is? Pause this video and think about it. What is different over here? So what is the new pattern over here? What is something that is different? One thing that you can see that is different is equal to what? What is it? At every function, at every recursive level, there is variable number of function calls, recursive calls. For example, this function is making just one recursion call. This function is making two recursion calls. Now this individual functions are making three recursion calls. We have not done a problem like this previously. Previously what we were doing, every function call was making two function calls. Here is that happening? No. Here the number of function calls, number of recursive calls is actually dependent on what? The size of processed. Isn't that true? It's dependent on the size of processed. For example, here the size of process is 0. I'm having 1. Here the size of process is 1. So I'm having 2 calls. Here the size of process is 2. So I'm having 3 calls. So number of recursive calls is equal to what? Size of process plus 1. And at every call, what are you doing? You're making another call that is adding the first character of unprocessed in the potential answers in the respective positions. And what are these number of positions going to be? So number of these positions are going to be equal to what? Obviously length of process plus 1. For example, here process length is 1. So number of positions are 1 plus 1, 2. That is correct. 2 positions. Process length is 2. Number of positions where you can add the third element is what? 3. That is true. 3. That is it. So since we are having variable number of function calls, what can we use? For loop. Simple for loop. Just run the for loop size of p plus 1 times. And in every for loop, you will have a, recursion call. That's it. As simple as that. How simple is it? So for example, if you're talking about this one, here, what are you going to do? You are going to say that I'm going to have a function call that starts from 0. So if you have BA, index is 0 and 1. So your loop is going to start from, let's say, 0. And I is going to be less than equal to what? Less than equal to the length of this thing. So less than equal to 2 and I plus plus. And after that, what will you do? First, you will add it over here. So in which all places can you add? Here, here and here. So you can add it. What is this condition? This is you take a substring from 0 till 0 plus your character plus from 1 till end. Okay. Similarly, what is this? This is basically equal to 0 till 1 plus character plus your what? So if I'm talking about 0 till 0, so this will be nothing but it will not be the first one. It will just be like empty. So this will be, let's say we are talking about this thing, like let's say this is exclusive, because this is what let's talk about in forms of like how substring method works. This is inclusive, this is exclusive. Okay, 0 will not be taken, so this will be empty plus ch plus what? Starting from 0, which is now inclusive, till the end, which is 2, exclusive, because I'm taking it less than equal to 2, right? Exclusive. Similarly, this will be equal to what? 0 till 1. So 0 till 1 means 0 till 0. B will come over here plus ch plus 1 inclusive till 2 exclusive. So this will be just 1. B plus ch plus a. And what is this thing? This is going to be equal to starting from 1 till what? No, starting from 0 till 2. 0 till 2. Always start from 0 till 2. So 0 till 1. This will be BA plus CH plus 2 till 2. So it will be empty. That's it. That is it. So this for loop will actually be like what? This for loop will have for every case, if I is equal to 0, it's starting from 0. This is my I, this is my I, this is my I, right? So I've explained this in detail. So this will actually have something like my first string will be equal to substring 0 till I. My second string will be equal to substring what? I till length. That's it. And my answer will be equal to what? My processed will be equal to what? New processed. Process will be equal to first plus ch plus s. That's it. That is it. As simple as that. So are you able to understand the variable number of function calls? Exactly the same thing we did previously, but now we don't know how many function calls will be at every level. Like we do know it with this formula, it will be less than equal to, it will be equal to the size plus 1, size of the process plus 1. And how we are actually dividing that, you can see it over here. Always, don't overcomplicate things with recursion. Anything that you see in the recursive tree, just code that. That's it. Okay. And how this thing is working internally, I have already explained in the previous videos. So make sure you check it out, like how the tree works, why the left call will be made first and then this and then this. Like you might be understanding like works like this now. Works like this thing. You might already know how it works. Okay. You also have an understanding of how to now return this into an entire array by passing. So definitely watch the previous video at least, and the arrays recursion video at least. That will give you in-depth explanation of how these things work. So let's try to code this thing. Let me just create another, let's say I'll just create a class called permutations, and in this I'll just say that I want to, let's say first I want to do the normal just printing one, and since I'll also maybe open up the this one that actually like how to return it. So sync process and this entire thing we've done previously also. The concept is same. Okay, only the number of function calls and how we are making recursive calls, that is the only thing changing. Rest everything is same, even for when we do this thing, how to return an array list of all the permutations. Okay, so I can say static void permutations, and I can say sync processed and string unprocessed. Okay, so if unprocessed dot is empty, just print processed and return. So as you can see, I have not done anything different, did the same thing previously also. Then I'm just taking the character. As you can see, exactly the same thing I'm doing, but here I know that I was making 3 function calls. Now I don't know that. Now I know that I'm making variable number of functions called that depends on the size of the processed. Okay, and how this thing is working internally, everything function call stack and how things are getting returned and everything already explained to you by this video. I've done like 7 videos on recursion already. That's like 1.5 hours, 2 hours, 2.5 hours long. So much content we've done already. This much basic you should know. If you still don't know how these values are getting returned and everything, now is not the time for me to explain that. Watch the previous videos. Now it's time to practice and learn new concepts. Okay, so I'm just going to copy paste this. Char ch is equal to the first character. Okay, that is it. After that, what do we need to do? After that, what do we need to do? We need variable number of function calls. So for I is equal to 0, less than equal to processed, I plus 1. Can you all see why less than equal to process? Yes, you can see because I've already explained it. So I can say, don't ask me questions like why is it running less than equal to processed? Process dot length. Okay, what do we need to do? So we need to take our first string. First is going to be substring of 0 till I, no problem. So I'm going to say string first is equal to what? Process dot substring 0 till I. I've already explained this in detail. Second is equal to process dot substring what? I till the length of the string. So process dot length. That is it. And now I'm just going to say that call my recursive function, which is going to be equal to what? It's going to call first plus second plus first plus ch plus second, first plus ch plus second, and my unprocessed dot like first character will be skipped, substring 1. That is it. That's it. So simple, such a small one, right? Let's try to print this. I'll also teach you how to do it in using iteration. Initially it will be empty, and I will just give, let's say, ABC. Let's see what we will get. You all understand, right, that this is exclusive. Like I should not explain this again. I've explained this in arrays and strings also. So CBA, BCA, so you can see CBA, BCA, BAC, BAC, CAB, ABC, blah, 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 blah. You get the idea, right? Sound good? Now similarly, if I am creating the same thing like this, you know, if I need to return an array list, already explained in the previous lecture how this works internally, everything. So you don't need to pass it over here. You will just pass it over here and you will just do an add all. I've explained this actually 4 times, how this add all thing works and how it goes behind. Hey, that story I told you in previous videos, like, hey, you are going up, please take me also. That is what this add all does. I will not explain this again. I've explained this in previous lecture. I've explained it in detail in the arrays recursion video. So please watch that. It will really help you. Okay, so copy paste this. Okay, now I'm just returning an array list, how it works and everything. Array list of string. I'm returning that. Okay, so this is what I am returning, and I need to store it in my answer. So basically, this is my answer is going to be equal to new array list. So this will be my answer. All the answers that I'm getting from the recursion calls, these are all the answers I'm getting from the recursion calls. I'm just going to add it in my answer. Answer dot add all thing I've already explained in previous lectures. This thing. So add all the answers that you're getting from here. So I can say permutations list or something like that. Okay, and after that I don't need to do this. So what am I going to do in up? Like when this becomes empty, when this becomes empty, you have found one of your answers, already explained over here. When something becomes empty, you have already found your answer. So exactly copy paste this, literally copy pasting, nothing new, no need to explain. Okay, nothing new, return my answer. That is it, exactly same, exactly, just the thing changing is this, that's it. Just exactly everything is same. So this will create a list, it will return the list that will actually contain all these three items. That is what this add all is doing. So in the original list, this list is what? This is what? Local to this call. So this, for example, this call will be having answer over here. And this answer will keep getting updated, like answer dot add all, whatever answer you're getting from recursion calls. Answer dot add all, whatever answer you're getting from recursion call, because this line number 37 will run again and again for all the recursion calls because it's inside the for loop. Very common sense. Already explained over here. So please watch the previous videos, highly important. So let's try to solve this thing, like print it out. So I can say array list of string, my answer is actually equal to permutation list, initially empty, and ABC. Okay, and then I'm just going to say that what am I going to say? I'm going to say print the answer. So every list, just print it, that's it. That's it, as simple as that. How easy was this? The conversion part, very easy, right? Sound good? Cool. Let's move forward then. Now a similar question can be, instead of just printing all the permutations or whatever, try to see how many answers you may have. So we've already done something like this. Where is it? Somewhere over here we said count or something. I think we have done this. Not sure where we have done this, but I'm pretty sure we have. Sum or something? Nope, not this. Find dated binary search. Nope. Sorted. Nope. Where is it? So yeah, over here you can see we have done the count. So we have taken like a count over here, and it's just, you know, whenever it becomes 0, it's just returning the count or whatever. Already explained this. So here what we have done is we've taken it like inside the argument, but we don't want to do that. Let's say we've already done such questions. So let's say we are just going to take the count like inside the body. Okay, so inside the body we're going to take the count. I'm just going to say that I'm going to copy paste this. Okay, I'm going to copy paste this and I want to return the count. Now people will be like, hey Kunal, why can't you just use the formula? It's not about that. I want to explain to you the thinking process. Okay, integer return, and I need to say that so how can we do this? So one way you can see it on the screen is in this tree. Whenever your unprocessed becomes empty, you have found one answer. You can just return this, and this will return 1 also, then this will also return 1. So all of these ones that are being returned should be added. So every one will be returned from here. These should be added. So I can take a count. Initially I can say count is equal to 0 for this level, because obviously we have this and whenever it is like empty, I just return 1. You found one answer. Count is equal to count plus whatever answer you're getting from the permutations. So I can say permutations count. Okay, so it will be like 0 for this level, then for this level it will be 1 plus 1 plus 1, 3. This will return 3. This will also have 0 for this level, but then it will be 3 plus whatever answer you get from here, 3, 6. This will be then 3 plus 3 plus 6. This will be 6. That will be returned to main. Hope you're able to understand. Very simple stuff. So 1, it will return 1, it will return 1, it will return 1. These 1, 1, 1 will be added because it's added over here for the local. So the local answer will be 3. This local answer will be 3 that needs to be returned. So this local answer needs to be returned. When this function is over, it should be returning all the answers it has gotten from below. So when this function is over, it should return all the answers it has gotten from below. That is it. That is it. Permutations count, very simple. You can also pass it in the argument. You can do that yourself. We've already covered it in the previous lectures. You know, same concept will apply over there. So permutation count, I can teach you that as well, no problem. ABC should give me 6 because we were getting 6 answers, right? So 3 factorial 6. 6. What if we have 4? What is 4 factorial? 24. 24. So 24 permutations exist. Cool. Very simple stuff. This is nothing. It's just saying that you know, have it just return 1, 1, 1. That's it. What if you are passing count over here in, let's say, as a third argument? Then whenever you're making a function call, a new call, you will increase that by 1. That's it. In the end, you will just return count. Okay, so that was basically about it, but we are not done over here. I've had to teach you a little bit more about these things, but try to understand that I cannot teach you complex questions before we have done complex data types. So in order to convert permutation into iteration, we would be requiring the use of queues, and we have not done queues yet. In order to do more advanced level problems of sliding window 2-pointer, we would be require hash maps, heaps, things like that. Everything will be covered. Once we have done till hash map, I will, you know, like I did the binary search video, I will make videos like that, like specifically for interview preparation, that use all of these concepts together. So please have some patience, because we are yet to cover those data types. Once we have done data structures, and once we have done that, then we'll do more complex questions that use these data types. So arrays, strings, recursion, this is not like finished yet. We will be doing recursion quite a lot now in linked list, trees, dynamic programming, graph, heap, and all these other things. So that was like the recursive pattern. So now just, you know, practice problems, and thanks a lot for, you know, watching. In the next video, part 3, we'll be doing like the dice problems. So like how many dice faces you need to make a particular number or whatever, and like, you know, like your phone number patterns or whatever. Those are also pretty good questions in terms of understanding. Then we'll do backtracking. So like Sudoku solver and Queen's problem and Knight's problem, maze problems, go from one maze to from start till end, or find all the paths or whatever obstacles, and all these things we'll be doing. So yeah, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and join the Learning in Public initiative. Comment if you like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.